Now, coming to the third work center, and another important thing, after doing all this setup, you as an architect can create an user ID password for your colleague as well as your supporting consultants.
Correct.
Maintaining all the accesses and business role you have created for them. Now, the next and foremost thing, very important and very time-taking thing, is that you need to do a scoping within the system. Scoping means you need to design the system, how your system should look like. And how the designing happens? For that, the prerequisite is you will have an initial discussion with your customer during the implementation phase, whatever the phase you might be going, as with an agile or waterfall methodology or activate methodology. It's all on you how you are going with that. But so after doing this, the what will happen? You will have an during an implementation, you will have an as is study, to be study, right? You go understand client requirement. Then after understanding, you prepare a document, right? The document can be a blueprint document or SDD document, solution design, KDD document, key design document, or you will have a process design document, whatever the document. So after having all those documentation, the next thing is, you know now what exactly need to be done with the system as an architect. Now what you will do, the next thing is, coming to the advantage of C4C is, you can design the system, you can allocate the configuration as per the scoping. So if you check in the scoping that I want this functionality, that functionality will get enabled. Okay, because in on-premise system, you see when you go to SPROIMG, you will see a lot of configurations are there, in which hardly some of them are relevant to you.
Correct.
Correct. What is the reason behind that? And what happens after that? Because when you have a lot of configuration, your system space is occupied, right? Because all the configuration data will occupy the space, for which your performance get impacted and your system start buffering. To avoid that, in cloud application, it is given an option, if you require, activate it, otherwise let it. Right? That means that's the reason it will immediately open and it will not take much time to execute your transaction. That is one very big advantage of this scoping part.
Right? So, if I rightly understood what I understood, sir, because of the space constraints, okay, database constraints are the performance point of view, the scoping is bring. Otherwise, if you don't do scoping also, we can proceed for the system usage.
You can go to the system usage, but you will miss a lot of functionalities. Like for example, you want to have a workflow created or approval process, for example. And if you don't check an approval in scoping, your approval, you cannot go and create approval.
Okay.
Right. So some kind of notification you want in the system, but you don't check the scoping, you cannot create a notification. I'll come to the scoping, you will understand what are the questions normally happen.
So basically what I'm trying to understand is, so see, we are renting, okay, so we are subscribing for the sales and service module, for example.
Correct.
Subscribing sales and service modules for the this much payment. Okay, I'm monthly doing payment to the sales for SAP, and so based on that, I should get all the functionalities whatever there in the entire sales and service modules.
Correct.
Okay, and but again, on top of that, what the companies are doing, that we are scoping the system. Okay, then only we will get the relevant functionality to be activated. Okay, so why that's why I asked, why can't we use directly system instead of activate? We are activating. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sir. Go ahead.
No, correct. Now, see what is happening. This URL is specific to yours company.
Yeah.
Their company can have multiple scenarios. There can be automobile industry, manufacturing industry, FMCG, lot of industries are there. Now, all the industry will have different requirements according to their.
Okay.
Now, what they have done, in scoping, they kept all the information as per your company. What is relevant for you, you can go and check and activate it.
So, okay, then good question, sir. Good to have this one. So I'm not going to. Is it not possible to buy the C4C, get the C4 subscription based on the industry vertical? Suppose I am a
good question. Now, see, there a C4C have hardly 2 to 3 industry specific solutions.
Oh.
Within C4C, you can activate industry specific solution. I will show you. Everything is there in the But separate tenant for industry specific is not required. Okay. Within the same thing, you can have that industry specific. But there is like, for example, in exams, right? We got one book to read. In exam for Terminal 1, I only need to have 3 to 4 chapter read. I don't require all the chapter to be read, right? So I will only do that. That means if I'm going for an industry specific and I only want these functionality to be done, I can only activate those things for that industry specific.
So, for example, sir, suppose Reliance industry, take Reliance,
Correct.
Reliance Automobiles, so Tata Automobiles, Tata FMCG. So, if I buy a C4C subscription for sales and sales, I cannot use same tenant for the automobile Reliance Automobiles and Reliance FMG. Can I use same tenant?
Yes. See, what can you do? Normally, in one tenant, you can have 2 different businesses or 3 different businesses also. Okay, you can do that. But as a best practice, what we suggest, if your business entity is different, your customer base is different, okay, your entire functionality is different, why don't you go with another tenant? It's just a subscription, right? You need to pay only a license fee. But if client says, no, I have a business, because we did an implementation of a client having an electrical business, ceramic business, and other trading business in one same tenant. You can do that. It's very flexible. But normally, as a best practice, we suggest separate system. But if they want, that can also be done. Okay, not a big thing. Okay. Now, the another thing is, I just want to explain. This is what Work Center and this is what Work Center view. Okay. And in the Work Center view, you can see it's a system link. Okay. Now these are called as a system links. Now this bell icon is nothing but your notification. Right? You will get a notification. Whatever activity you do, you will get a notification from the bell icon. This is a profile. In profile, you will see there is a multiple option. The setting is called as a system setting. So if you go to the setting, you see you can cover up the date format, how you require, decimal format according to the country, right? Time zone you can set up according to the country, time format and language. You can do the settings over.
Sorry, sir. This is user settings or system settings?
It is system setting, not user setting.
Really? So every user have this kind of, suppose you are administrator, you can have for you providing system setting is fine. I am a user, I'm an end user. Okay.
Yeah. For your user, you will be my settings will be activated for your individual.
Okay. Then it is user settings or system settings?
See, normally what happens, there are 2 kind of roles. When I logged in as an administrator, I can do a setting for entire user. First and foremost.
That is obvious. Okay.
But when I'm and also I will give an option for a my settings. Okay. So now as I'm an administrator, I logged into the different role. I will have my settings first. These settings need to be done for my user in the system.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So I will change all the required information or the background image and everything. My background image, my email. Now there is one company setting. These are 3 all my individual settings. In company settings, this need to be done for entire business role. I will do all the settings for the entire business. In company, you see that if I check a business role, I can select a business. And for that specific business rule, I can do this settings. Right? Sign out, client, signature, UI control, right? Global settings, if I need to do all the global settings, can be done from me. Personalized setting is my individual system setting. That means how I might make my UI to look like. So these are all personalized settings which comes. And remember, C4C is built on a Fury.
Okay, Fury. Okay.
So it is upon a Fury, so no need to create a separate Fury app altogether. It's already built in Fury, and you can download this C4C app from your Play Store or Apple Store.
Okay.
And then put an URL, your user ID and password, and you can start looking the mobile view also. Then you have an adaptation settings where you can enable the adaptation. Now, what is this adaptation? When you enable this adaptation in a profile, you will see this option. If you disable, this option will go. Now, for the user, apart from administrator, you need to disable this option. Why? Because why? Because when you do an adaptation, and in adaptation you do a changes within the system, either field level, UI, whatever, that will applicable to all the business rule which is in the system. Okay, when you change it, it will applicable to all the business rule, and if you do a personalized testing setup, it will only be visible to your user.
What kind of changes?
Yes, coming to that part. Now, for example, I'm going to an account.
Okay.
I will open an account screen. And I need to make a address as a mandatory or email as a mandatory. What I will do, I will go to a start education. Now, I want to start education. I want to make email as a mandatory. Now, you can see these are all blue color line, right? Blue color borders. This is your selection criteria. This is a header level information. Now, you need to do changes on the header level information. Then you need to click on the pencil icon. If you check it, the blue comes to red.
Okay.
That means if it is becoming red, right hand side screen will show you all these information within this header. So see here is the header.
So what this is UI, only this is useful to UI level settings, huh?
Not only UI, all the field level information. You want to create a field, add a field, put a logic in the field, everything will be covered in the header.
So it's a not, then it is view level you are saying?
Yes, view level.
So view level, any changes, just like our say on-premise CRM web UI, how we are changing the same thing, same concept anyway. So
you see there will be a difference on premise CRM, because on premise CRM we are creating a lot of profiles, right? And then on that profile only we are doing changes in other thing, right? You will feel similar. See, process wise all the CRM is having a similar thing, right? The functionality is different. So see the functionality how it different.
That is okay, sir. This is adaptation. When we talk about the adaptation functionality, the adaptation why he has given at system administrator web UI level means we have to open that page, whatever the page, and when you go to adaptations, we can remove the fields, add the fields at a view level. Okay.
Yeah. And when you do here in a view level, it implies to every user, not only one single user.
So suppose if I want to do the things at role level, okay, suppose I want still I have to use adaptation or
yes, in an adaptation what you can do, You can do these settings, this layout, right? There is a layout, master layout. So you can create your own layout and then assign a business role to this layout. That means it will specific to the business role. So when I will come to UI settings, my next another session, then I will tell you how the business role is.
Okay.
So you can have a specific UI for that particular.
Okay.
Here you can go, you can create. See here, there's a very simple, it's very easy here. You will have these many layouts. Sales representative will have different screens. You can create your own business role in the layout. So when you click here, see there's an option to have business role. Assign layout when you see after creating. There's a business object in instance type. So I will come to this business role and all later in the session. But this is what you do now. What I do, I checked here. Then you see, as soon as I checked here, all the information comes in. Now, for example, I want to do email as a mandatory. What I will do, I will come to see an email where it is, the right hand side screen. I will check. Yes, I got an email. Now I need to make it
email field. This is email
field. Okay. I want to make it mandatory. What I will do, I click in the arrow. You see, personalize. That means you are seeing this. If you want to hide, click on this. Make it read only. Put in this. It will be only read only. You cannot edit. And set as mandatory. Now see, as soon as I did this, red star mark. That means it is now mandatory. Now I want a further control. Not for all the account I want my email ID to be mandatory. Only for specific account or a specific role. If there is a role prospect, right? If I want, only if the role is a distributor, then only email should be mandatory. How will you do that kind of control in CRM on-premise? You say
there is a dependent over there. See
in CRM on-premise, it is done by a backend.
Backend. Okay. If it in web UI changes, this is all web UI
changes by a developer, right? But here you can do from a print.
Okay.
What you can do, as soon as you click here, and I have this role, right? Distributor, for example. I need to have a code. I don't know about the code now. What I will do, I will go to a mandatory. I checked it as a mandatory. That means when it will be mandatory, I'll create a rule. A rule. This rule and a separate, and then you can edit.
So here I have one question. So what you are trying to say, based on the role value, you are making the other field, dependent field, as a whether it's mandatory or not.
Mandatory or non-mandatory.
Mandatory. Suppose so in real case, if I add some additional values to the source one, suppose, then you are in the rule, what you are trying to say, the rule, suppose in rule, if it is bananas, you make email field is mandatory. If it is an apples, you don't. If it is apples, no need to mandatory.
No need to make it mandatory.
Suppose if I add one more something, okay, bananas, apples, almonds. If it's almond, in future my business went to almond, I added almonds. Okay, almonds. Then is it directly I can do this settings in rule? I can directly make it in production level, or do I need to make this a change from development to the production? Carry this.
See what you can do. Normally process is go to a development, do the changes, move to quality, and then to production.
So this is actually, sir, in fact, this is a very, I have added almonds a value to the source field, and based on that, what I am asking the system, make it mandatory. Okay. This is a very, in fact, if you see, this is very small, small kind of thing. Okay, small thing. So for this also, we have to make a change request, just change request in development system, and we have to carry this to production.
Correct. See, change request it all is a process part. Okay. Yeah. That's how normally we take it as a process.
Yeah, that's okay. That is not my intention. So we still these things we have to do, these kind of small petty things also we have to do directly in we have to do in development, we have to carry this to the transport request or whatever change process, whatever it may be. So we have to carry this from development to the production. Okay.
Correct.
That's what I want to understand actually. Okay.
Correct.
So of course, in on-premise, still that is a big thing. Okay. Still it is, even the ABAPer do or functional do, okay, whatever it may be, that is we are doing in development, since there is a code is involved. Here it is no code. Okay, there is no code only.
Very code means it is, unless and until it is business critical, and if it is the standard functionality does not meet the requirement of a business, then only we go sorry go back end and do a code.
Okay.
Otherwise, no required. Okay. And currently, the new upgrade, after an upgrade in the 2023, you will see there will be low code, no code platform, which is coming. Only an app guider will be used, so you no need to have a coding at a back end.
Yeah, the declarative, a kind of declarative things. These are all okay. Okay, sir. Okay,
now,
got
see,
it.
You got right. How the logic normally we build, for example, I did prospect. Right? Prospect is equals to, like for example. So equals to, and that code if I put contains, in that contains I'll put a code. Right? So B1, D1, whatever the prospect code. And then the this will show it is false, true, and all. And if I apply it, so it will activate the rule. You can also color code your rule within the rule part. Each field level point, you can have a color coding also. So this is how you,
for values you are saying.
For values. You have that color coding so that it will identify your part. So this is how you can also have a control on this field level information, right? And discuss. So this is another important area. So I made it mandatory, and then I set it, whatever rule can be added. Now, in this case, if I came to an adaptation, I complete the adaptation part.